The old house stood on a forgotten lane, a skeletal silhouette against the bruised twilight sky. Alex, drawn by its morbid charm and impossible rent, saw a new beginning, not an end. The first night, as the house settled its ancient bones, the whispers began. They were faint at first, like the sighing of wind through a keyhole, a susurrus just at the edge of hearing. Alex dismissed them as drafts, the groans of old wood, the tricks of an overactive imagination. But the house was just getting started. The whispers grew, weaving themselves into the fabric of the night. They were no longer formless sounds, but fragments of words, spectral conversations bleeding through the floral wallpaper. Alex learned the house's history not from books, but from the very air. It was built by a man known only as the Collector's Secrets, a practitioner of a dark ritual that didn't just kill, but trapped. He had bound the souls of his victims to the foundation, their essence mortared into the walls. Shadowy figures began to flicker in Alex's peripheral vision, their faces distorted in silent screams. A fleeting glimpse of a Victorian child in a nightgown, a man in a tattered coat, all prisoners of the Collector's arcane architecture. The house wasn't just haunted, it was a mausoleum. Panic finally set in. Alex scrambled for the front door, the heavy oak refusing to budge. The windows were sealed, the glass as unyielding as stone. Every exit was a dead end. That's when the walls began to breathe. The whispers converged, 100 tormented voices uniting into a single guttural drone. The wallpaper peeled back like dead skin, revealing a churning, viscous darkness beneath. This was the murmur, the hive mind of the damned. A monstrous entity born from a century of collected suffering. It slithered from the plaster, a flowing mass of shadowy limbs and countless weeping eyes. A physical manifestation of a chorus of despair. The murmur's form solidified, a grotesque amalgamation of all the souls it had consumed. It flowed across the floor, an inexorable tide of black ichor and condensed misery, its many mouths whispering Alex's name. It loomed over Alex, a living, breathing monument to fear. The entity lunged, and Alex's scream was a sharp, final note swallowed by the cacophony before being absorbed into the whole. The murmur receded, melting back into the structure, leaving no trace of its presence. The whispers ceased, replaced by a profound tomb-like silence. The final shot is a still frame of the wall, its surface now perfectly smooth, utterly undisturbed, waiting patiently for its next secret.